I think we're live. I think we're live. That's what I'm being told anyway. So they're cueing me. Let's see what happens here. Anyway, good morning. This is Tim Patterson, and welcome to the first Trade Show Guy Monday morning coffee. It's something I've been considering doing for the last few months. You know, I've seen similar things done by other folks and thought it'd be a good way to connect with you and continue to use the Webinar Jam platform that I started using just over a year ago. So I'm going to stop this little what you call the splash show here and go to me. There we go. That's me. We're live on YouTube. It's a Google Hangout. I'm not sure where it's all showing up. The technology sometimes escapes me. And in fact, I'm using a platform, Webinar Jam, which I've done webinars on for about a year, a little over a year. And it's worked great. I've had maybe a couple of bumps in the road along the way early on, but the last 6 or 8 months, it's been fine. This one, though, I'm not really sure what's going on because we should be getting a link every Monday morning. This will happen, and the link should go out, but the links aren't coming out. So no one's watching right now, but I'm going to record this. It's going to end up on the blog, and it'll be the first one. It's kind of a dry run, but it's live recorded. So yeah, it's kind of the way it goes. So my outline for the Monday morning coffee with Trade Show Guy is simple. Spend a few minutes, maybe 5, maybe 10 at the most, speaking about business and trade show marketing, a few personal things thrown in there, leave you with a tip or two, and highlight a good thing or two along the way. So first of all, if you don't know who I am, I'm Tim Patterson, and my company is called TradeshowGuy Exhibits, and we are in Salem, Oregon. We're a small boutique company that works with a lot of clients, not specifically for the natural products industry, but a lot of them are in that industry. We've been in the tech industry a couple of times with clients along the way, but a lot of the stuff is in the natural products industry. We have a couple of medium-sized businesses, I would say, that have hundreds of millions of dollars in profit. And in the big scope of things, that's really kind of a medium-sized business, but certainly some small businesses. That seems to be our main bread and butter. And I will tell you that 2016 was a great year for us. 2015 was what I would say a moderate year for the last, the company actually started in 2011. I had worked for about 9.5 years for another company here in Salem. They closed because the owner retired, and I had a number of clients that wanted to work with me, so I started doing that and continued. I'll give you an example. Bob's Red Mill out of Portland has been a longtime client of ours from the moment that we met them back. This has been like 12 years ago or so with the previous company, which was Interpretive Exhibits. We did a large booth for them, and when the new company started, we did an even larger booth for them. And so we've done that and continue to upgrade their booth as time goes by. We do new graphics for them. That's a good example of that. And we're doing a lot of stuff. They exhibit this big booth at Expo West, Natural Products Expo West and Expo East. And looking forward to doing that with them here in just a couple of months. It's like 9 or 10 weeks away. We'll be doing that for them in March in Anaheim. And I'll be down there walking the show floor and meeting people and that sort of thing. So that's one thing we do. I also wanted to mention we work with a number of great vendors and manufacturers and producers, including Classic Exhibits. Classic is probably one of the top 3 or 4 exhibit manufacturers. They do a lot of great custom stuff. They do modular booths. They do aluminum, wood, plastics, fabric, graphics, everything. They do it all, and they're easy to work with, and it's really convenient for us because we're just a hop, skip, and a jump down the road from them up in the Portland area. We also work with a couple of designers. Classic has in-house designers. They're great to work with. But I've done a number of things with Greg Garrett. Greg Garrett Designs is his company. He's kind of a solo guy, solo entrepreneur, great designer, 3D exhibit designer that really puts things over the top. We did a project with Greg just this last summer for a local client called Maduri Farms. Did a great 20 by 20 custom booth for them, which debuted at the International Food Technology show in Chicago, and that booth will be again at the same show in Las Vegas this July. So that was a ton of fun, and it turned out to be a great project. The clients loved that. We also work with folks like Optima Graphics as graphic production folks out of the Midwest, and Orbis, which has headquarters in Chicago, and they have production facilities as well in Las Vegas, and they've just jumped on things. So those are the main 4 folks I work with. Creative Banners is another one. Expand Exhibits on occasion. It just depends on what a client wants or needs. So how did 2016 go for us here at Trade Show Guy Exhibits? It was, like I said, it was a great year. 2015 was a good year. We were up by about 60%. of our total billings in 2016 over 2015, and already in 2017, there's enough business on the books that equals 2015. So we're hoping to at least double what we did in 2015 and maybe double what we did in 2016 if things go as well. Again, we're off to a great start for 2017. We had some new and notable projects, new clients this year, including Betterment, which is a financial company out of Manhattan, Maduri Farms, Jelly, which is a company out of San Francisco in the tech industry. I believe they're doing the solar industry. GPS Fleet Pros did some work for them. City of Downey, California ordered some stuff from us. Highlands, which is a homeopathic, they're in the natural products industry. We're in talks with them to upgrade some of their products as well. Again, I mentioned Bob's Red Mill, worked for them for over 10 or 12 years, and that is continuing. And a handful of new projects. We just signed like 3 new deals in the last week or two of 2016, yet to be unveiled because we're still working on the final, and I'm going to leave it to them to when we unveil them. I'm not going to reveal their names, but stuff coming up here in the next couple of months, which will be out there. So we'll mention that in one of these Trade Show Guy Monday morning coffees. So looking ahead to 2017, I want to look back some of the things we did in 2016. It's interesting. I'm always looking for ways to market the company and tried a number of things from postcard marketing, which, I got a little business. We tried Google Ads for about 6 to 8 weeks back in March and April and worked with a company that was very experienced at it and invested quite a bit in it. And frankly, we got squat out of it. So that didn't work well for us. We got a lot of traffic driven to our websites, our landing pages, specific landing pages, as well as the main website. But I think the issue with that is that it's a very expensive proposition to get into and compete with companies that are much larger than us. So that is probably not the best use of our money. I think Google Ads can work for some people. It just didn't work for us. Again, we invested heavily for us for about 6 to 8 weeks and then pulled the plug on it because it just wasn't getting anywhere. We kept hearing from the company where we work with, you got to get a little more budget in there. And so we would up it just a little bit, and it just didn't work out. So nonetheless, we've tried some other things along the way, working with a company called Lead Forensics, just getting into that. I'll tell you more about that as we get on. So again, our business goals is to increase our billing by about 50% from last year and this year. And I think we're on track to do that. And that would make us very happy here. Some of the other things I do, I've invested heavily in some of our in-house skills, as it were. I'm taking a course, a year-long sales training course with Sandler sales training system. And frankly, I can't say enough about them. It's been about 3 or 4 months, and I've learned so much. It's great. Good people to work with, and the skills which are going to come out of that, I think, are going to be very, very helpful. I also joined Peter Shankman's Shankminds mastermind group about a month ago, and I think I'll continue with that for this coming year. It's a great group, limited to 200, and they have a couple of weekly calls we get involved with, as well as a very active Facebook page. It's networking, it's ideas. It just helps boost the whole energy level of what's going on. I want to give you a weekly trade show marketing tip, and that is on booth staff training. We talk about, I had a book out last year. Well, actually, from now it would have been the year before. It was released in 2015. Let me get a copy because it's right here. I keep them handy, because I mail them out a lot. It's called Trade Show Success, 14 Proven Steps to Take Your Trade Show Marketing to the Next Level. And sold a few of these, but that wasn't really why I bought it. I wrote it. I wanted to be able to give it away to potential clients and show my expertise. Plus, I always wanted to have a book published, so I got this done, which was a lot of fun. But I talk about a lot of ways to get to the success that you want in trade show marketing. And one of them, which I think is the key, is your booth staff. Now, a lot of people, a lot of companies will just send staffers there and say, okay, the products, go down there and sell, get some leads. But there's not a lot of effort put into training them on how to react to people, how to get people to react to them on the trade show floor. And there's some great trainers out there that will teach your booth staff how to properly interact so that they're not wasting time, they're getting right to the meat of the matter, and they're being friendly. There's so much that goes into a very well-trained booth staffer that will make your trade show appearance that much more successful. I think you could have a great booth, you could have great advertising to get people there, but unless you have people in your booth that know what they're doing, know how to interact with people, and gather those leads, it's really not going to be as successful as it could be. Your people are your front line. I mean, they are the people that greet everyone that comes in. And if they don't have a good attitude and a way to interact with people, it's just not going to work nearly as well as it could be. All right. So that's my trade show tip. Your booth staff should be really up to it. All right. A couple of good things, and we'll wrap this up. This good thing is called Blue and Lonesome. It's the Rolling Stones new CD, which they recorded in 3 days late last year. Just a bunch of old blues stuff. Little Walter and Howlin' Wolf and on and on. I mean, they started out as a blues band back in the early 60s, 62, 63. And, you know, as I think Keith Richards put it, if you wanted to be famous in London in 1962 and 63, what you didn't do was be a blues band, because a lot of the bands there that were becoming famous and getting noticed were doing pop and pop rock. And, you know, you had Herman's Hermits, the Beatles, but these guys were a blues band. And they started doing more pop stuff, more rock stuff, and became very successful. This is back to the roots, and I have to say, it's really, really good. I'm a big Rolling Stones fan from way back. I was impressed with it. The last couple of albums they've put out, I haven't been all that impressed with, but this is a lot of fun. Mick sounds great, both his vocals and his harp playing. And then the other good thing, which I'll wrap up with, is a book called The Sympathizer from, I'm gonna blow the name here. It's Viet Thanh Nguyen. It's a Pulitzer Prize winner. It's like his first novel from a teacher. Wrote a first novel, and it's about the end of the Vietnam War and about someone who was there working both sides of it, as it were. Comes back to America and then eventually goes back to Vietnam. I'm about, well, probably 20% into it, 4 or 5 chapters. Love it. Highly recommend it. And again, it's a winner of the Pulitzer Prize for last year. That does it for this morning's Monday, January 2nd, Trade Show Guy Morning Coffee. Hope you have a great weekend. I'll talk to you in a week.